Hello and welcome to another update video about HBAR. Yeah, we haven't covered HBAR for a while, but the main reason was that it was just moving sideways and was still dancing around the pivot point that I mentioned in the last video. So we're waiting for a decision of the market in which direction it wants to move. Throughout summer, yeah, you could say we were focusing on further upside for HBAR, which materialized. Now it broke above that pivot that we mentioned back then. Therefore, it seems to have decided that it wants to follow here the further pathway to the upside. It's, of course, not very clear. This chart isn't terribly clear, especially this consolidation down here could easily simply be a wave 4 of some sort. Yeah. So there are too many options to really rule out the yellow wave count, which might lead to another low in the 3 to 4 cent region, or more like the 3 cent region, actually. Yeah, 3 cents. However, at the moment, short term, also due to the break of this trend line here to the upside, seems like the white wave count wants to be in control. Now, what does that mean? So to keep it simple, I'm just labeling this as an ABC structure. Can easily turn into something more bullish, but first of all, let's focus on this. And let's see if we can actually form 5 waves to the upside, and it would have to be most likely a diagonal structure. Unfortunately, it's not an impulse at the moment. Yeah. If it turns impulsive, I'll let you know. But in the white wave count, the price should reach next the 10 cent mark. Why 10 cents? Well, first of all, it's the critical next resistance point. Okay, we have structural resistance here. Let me zoom in a little bit. We have structural resistance here, and I go to the 1-day chart as well. There you go. Here around the 7.6 cent level, yeah, this is structural resistance. Also here. So we have several layers, not layers, but several previous spikes that contribute to resistance around the 7.6 cent mark. That will be the next level the bulls need to break. But really, if this is the third wave, the price should reach at least the 1.236 Fibonacci extension of wave 1, and that points towards 10 cents. 10 cents is so therefore an important fib level. It is also structural resistance here, and as you know, psychological resistance. Okay, so there is quite a lot going on there. But to even get there, it needs to break above 7.6 cents first. So the minimum requirement for the wave 3 for me is the 10 cent level. Better, more believable would be the 1.38 extension. Then especially in crypto, yeah, ideally I'd like to see the 1.38. That's at 11 cents. So that's where we need to get to. The microstructure is a little unclear. Could be that it's done an A, B, and we're now in the wave C of 3. If that's the case, it could move up quite impulsively going forward. Yeah? So this could be the A wave, this could be the B wave, and we could now be on our way in wave C of 3. It would, however, have been a very shallow B wave, but that's acceptable, you know, that's okay. So if we take the length of that A wave, go to the low of the B wave, then we can actually see that the 1-to-1 ratio would take us to 9 cents. But as I said, it should ideally push a little higher. So the overall, you could say, target range for a C wave here starts at 9 cents, goes all the way up to, you could say, 11.4 cents. So if we look at the subdivisions, this should really be the next zone to target. But I'm not very clear about the micro count. Okay, so take that with a pinch of salt. It's too shallow to be a believable B wave here. Now, and if we then go to that 10 to 11 cent region in wave 3, afterwards we can add a support area for wave 4, and then we can watch for wave 5 to form. So as you can see, HBAR seems to be lagging behind a little bit. The break of the trend line suggests further upside could be coming, but what is the level that now needs to hold? Well, by the way, seeing this could actually be some kind of a triangle there. Maybe a B wave triangle that formed, similar to ADA. Okay, so there are, looking at the micro price action, there are many possibilities, you know, that you can put onto the chart here, but that's not so important. Important is to understand, okay, what is the micro support? So if we take the entire length of this move, then the main fib that is really relevant is around 5.6 cents. let's call it 5 cents, yeah, because it depends on, okay, do I measure this high? Do I measure this high? Do I measure this high? That's a bit unclear because of the microstructure. So I would argue that as long as we're holding the 5 cent level, I would remain focused here on the white wave count because it seems to be in control after the break of the trend line and the latest high. And we had a break above that pivot I mentioned in the previous videos. But again, the microstructure isn't terribly clear. So it's quite simple. Above 5 cents, I would watch for the white count. Below 5 cents, the yellow count would get increasingly likely, which could just be forming here some kind of a triangle pattern, yeah? Which is absolutely possible. This wave 4 can easily form a triangle. That triangle, the yellow count, will only become less likely, really, with a sustained break above 7.6 cents. But so the triangle count itself could simply be here, that wave 3 bottomed here in January. A wave, B wave, C wave, D wave, E wave. And therefore there's a risk that we break down completely from here because the triangle is technically complete. But we broke that trend line. So nevertheless, they are both possible. So it's a bit of an ambiguous chart. Maybe it doesn't really give you the clearest the clearest trade setup at the moment. To be honest, I don't see any trade setup here at all. I see if it becomes clear that the wave 5 is starting, okay, that might be a trade setup. If we come down in wave 4 to trade the wave 5, that could be a setup. But until then, there isn't really much to do here other than, I think, observing, tracking, and waiting for a clear setup. That's my update about HBAR. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.